I saw those custom house signs on Etsy, and despite looking good, they still lacked some customness in my eyes. What if we made a laser-cut house sign that not only contains a family name, but also a portrait of the house? Hey, what's up guys? In this video, we are going to make something for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, who are going to be our imaginary commissioners for the day. So they just got a new house and they want a sign that they can display in front of their home or in the hallway. Let's pretend they sent us this picture. Let's see what we can make with it. My idea for this project is to use 2 tones of MDF boards to make a layered sign. I have selected some black 3mm MDF for the design part and some natural looking MDF of the same thickness for the background. So let's get into the house portrait part of things. I basically imported the photo the Smith gave me in Illustrator and I retraced it in the most minimalist way possible. I like this simplistic style as it is catchy and doesn't require much time to be cut. Alright, the designing part is ready, so I can lay my black MDF on the honeycomb bed. The size of that sign is going to be 20 by 30 centimeters, or roughly 8 by 12 inch. Let's now jump into Lightburn. I love that I can just directly copy-paste my designs from Illustrator without having to export them as a SVG first. I'm going to be cutting at a speed of 150 mm per minute and at a power of 50%. This is a 20 watt diode laser. We can now close the laser and start the cut. I've had this laser for a few months now. It's an X4 Pro from the brand MacPow. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but I would still like to say that they were very helpful when I needed support. So if you're looking for a reliable entry-level diode laser, it might be a good choice. Alright, the laser did a good job, good boy. I'm now gonna place the other MDF board on the honeycomb bed. This cut is fairly simple, just a rectangle. I could almost have done it with my scroll saw, but you know, lasers can make you lazy, and we all like some precision, don't we? Here's the loot. We have our background and our design. You can see that the design has multiple moving parts, like the text or those pieces of windows. In order for those parts to be placed exactly how I intended it on the background, I have kept some negative space offcuts to help with the positioning. When it comes to layered art, some people recommend using some double-sided sticky sheets. In that case, they will stick the sheets to the MDF prior to cutting, so that the adhesive has exactly the same shape as the design parts. However, since I don't have any of those, I'm going to go with some good old super glue. I'm applying some glue on the back of the main part first. This is some gel super glue, which is perfect since it doesn't drip everywhere or gets on your fingers. Well, let's not jinx it, we're not done yet. I'm not being too generous with the glue, as we don't need that much, and I also don't want the glue to smudge around the design. Let's now carefully lay it down on the background. Super glue has a very short open assembly time, which is why it's called super glue in the first place. Therefore, I have to be wary of positioning the part correctly from the get-go. Success! I can now place the negative space parts which I previously talked about. Those, of course, do not need to be glued. Time to take care of the remaining pieces. I'm gluing them one by one so that the glue doesn't have time to dry. I have to be careful to apply the glue in the center of the parts, because if even just a little bit smudges around them, it will stick to the temporary parts, and I'm sure you understand why that would not be good. Doing this throws me way back to being 5-year-old and successfully completing this puzzle. So I guess thanks laser for keeping my inner child alive. Let's take the negative space out so we can check how it looks. Well, it looks pretty damn good if you ask me, but it could still use a finishing touch. I'm going to spray it with this clear acrylic. I think 3 coats should be enough to give it a good shine. Theoretically, the goal would also be to make it resistant to the elements, as this sign could be hanging on the door. But I'm pretty sure MDF is not the best weather-resistant material out there. So do let me know if you have any ideas of materials that can be cut with a diode laser and also can be used outdoors. Here's a recreation of the painting process. I don't want to film it since I'm afraid to get spray paint on my camera lens. And with that, let us enjoy some nice shots of the finished product. Alright guys, that's it for this one. I think it turned out pretty good, and what I like about this project is that the black MDF that I use does not show any burn mark, obviously, because the burn marks are usually black. So yeah, that's one positive thing about this project. Another thing I like about it is that it's really straightforward and pretty easy to trace on Illustrator, and it only requires 2 materials, so it's definitely something that could be profitable for you if you used it in your laser cutting business. Anyway, I'm pretty sure the Smith family would have enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to give this video a like and maybe subscribe to the channel, you never know, something might pop up and interest you in the future. And yeah, if you thought something about it, just give me some feedback. I would be super happy to see any comments under those videos. And lastly, if you would like me to make a portrait of your house, well, you can visit my Etsy shop. There will be a link in the description, and I will post a listing for this product very soon. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and keep creating.